Welcome to Auntie Life Unfiltered, the podcast where we say the things everyone else whispers, feels, or pretends they're totally fine about. Around here, nothing is too awkward, too messy, or too, oh my god, did she really just say that? Yes, I did. This is your space for real talk, real stories, real emotions, and the kind of honesty that makes you laugh, cry, and heal a little. Sometimes all at once. So grab your drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Because life's too short to sugarcoat it, and I'm not here to do that anyway. Welcome to Auntie Life Unfiltered. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Auntie Life Unfiltered. Today's episode is a special one. I have my cousin Matthew here with me, aka the first of the three M's. If you know, you know. Matthew, Melissa, and me were all born within weeks of each other back in '87. Lots of fun times, lots of good memories growing up. But today we're going to get into something a little deeper. Matthew shared with me that he identifies as asexual, and I realized I had questions. So this episode is just that, a real open conversation, me being curious and Matthew sharing his experiences in his own words. No judgment, just real talk. Welcome, Matt. Thanks for joining me today.
I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, the first of the three M's, as I said, I had to throw that in there. So
Yes, 3
yes.
M's. I'm proud.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that we have that connection. We are in different states and we grew up in different states, but I would come to Wisconsin this summer, so you guys would come to Ohio and stuff. So
Yes.
we still had a lot of fun memories together.
No once.
One memory that I'll never forget is the song No Diggity. Do you remember your guys' lyrics to that song? Every time I hear that song, I still sing it that way. It's like no mayo, 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 and no bacon, please, or something like that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Uh, oh my God, I haven't heard that in forever.
yeah, I had to. I think of that every time I hear that song. I think about that. So,
Oh my God.
before we get into the serious stuff, if you had to describe the three M's as kids, what were we like?
Um, Funny. The first word that pops in my head, and surprisingly, is a word you don't hear very often, but precocious.
Nice, yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yes. Oh, a little wild, but we were good kids.
Yeah, we were good overall. I
Yeah.
remember streaking in your trailer park at one point, though. I remember that. Do you remember that? I think it was like a
Yeah,
dare or something.
New Year's Eve, I believe
Yeah.
it was.
Ah, good times. We had good,
Yes.
growing up in our era is always fun. We got to like play and be kids still, and we all we're best friends. Having cousins that are close like that is always something special, and that I'll never take for granted. So,
Yeah, me neither. No, my cousins were like my siblings.
absolutely, yeah, for
Yes.
sure. I love it, and that's why I have more family come on here just to talk about whatever they want to talk about. I would love to do like a cousins episode someday if I could get as many of us that wanted to do it on here. It would be fun, or
Oh
even
yeah,
just a
that would be
specific one
great.
with me, you and Melissa. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, all three M's. That would be
Yes.
great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
So,
maybe the honorary fourth M.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't talk to her much anymore, but there is that honorary fourth M in there, so.
Yes.
So let's get into the more serious stuff. So you recently shared with me that you identify as asexual. For
Yes.
anybody that doesn't know what that is, do you want to describe what that is a little bit?
Yeah, asexual people. Um, they mostly identify as people who don't have sexual arousal
Mm.
or any sexual feeling. There's a wide spectrum of it.
Mhm.
It's very long, convoluted, really. I have been because we've had this on the books for about a week now, so I've been taking a lot of notes.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
that's great.
yeah, so because it's very extensive on what it's about. An asexual person is a person who experiences little or no sexual attraction to others.
Mhm.
Um, there's a wide spectrum of different kinds. Some people, only form sexual attractions based on intellectual feelings
Mhm.
or just only when somebody you know they'll only feel affection when affection is given first.
Mhm.
there's there's so many different variations. Gray ace, um, yeah, demisexual. It's just a wide spectrum of different kinds of asexual people. Um, I I can go into this uh, for hours to really, but I don't think we have hours.
No, share as much
um,
as you like, but yeah. What do you identify specifically? Is there a specific path that you find yourself more
um,
relating to?
the the ace part
Mhm.
mostly. I have really no sexual arousal towards anybody, and
Mhm.
I personally don't like being touched,
Mhm.
unless it's by a close family member,
Mhm.
someone who I'm comfortable with,
Right.
like my mother or my sister, you, for
Mhm.
example.
Yeah.
I've known you my whole life. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable hugging you.
Right.
Um, uh, but yeah, if with people that I rarely know or barely know, I find it extremely uncomfortable, even with the most it delicate of even like with handshake too.
Mhm.
I've always had trouble with that.
Yeah.
Um, and I never really understood it for the longest time.
Right.
And in fact, actually, it wasn't until I saw a TV show I didn't
Mhm.
know what asexual was.
Yeah.
It was because of a show called BoJack Horseman
Okay.
that I learned what asexual was. Because a character discovered that he was asexual, and I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Right.
And so I did research, and the more I read about it, read, and it all made sense. The years of pretending to like people
Mhm.
because that's what I thought I was supposed to do,
Right.
and um, I finally knew I didn't have to do that anymore,
Right. Yeah,
and
that's
it
amazing.
it felt so freeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. I definitely could see that being freeing. I think anything that any of us connect with or realize we're not weird or, something that isn't norm for society. That's something else I think is great with like technology and everything nowadays. We're more open to talk about things and more open with that. You can find somebody that understands you. Or even a lot of my episodes that I've done, like movies or TV shows, like you mentioned, will bring stuff out in us that we never knew before. So that's awesome that you were able to find something and finally feel like, "Oh, this could be me, and this is what I'm going through." You felt seen finally. So that is amazing that you did have that experience. Have you felt like this your whole life, or when did you start to, like, know that
Um,
you had different feelings than everybody
you
else?
know, yeah, even when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I didn't really like you know, touching
Mhm.
or you know, the concept even like watching people
Yeah.
with affection when I was a kid. I would always, have to turn away
Mhm.
because I didn't really like the sight of it.
Right.
One common misconception that happens with asexual people, that I've read about is, that, it is affiliated with sexual abuse.
Mm. Mhm.
People, find that, if you were sexually abused, you end up being asexual.
Mhm.
Um, I do want to say, yes, I was sexually abused as a child.
Mhm.
Does that connect with it? Yes and no
Mhm.
for me. But like I said, I always had those feelings of, not liking seeing it.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, did it add to it? Probably. I
Mhm.
can't say for sure because, well, one, I'm not a doctor. Two, I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a specialist in the subject. So
Right.
I'm just going off of what I've read.
Mhm.
And It could be anything, you know, um, the term libido is often thrown around in the subject as well. Some asexuals just may have a low libido, or, just a lack of libido.
Mhm.
And, that could that be the case with me as well? I don't know. I've never had anything tested. I just know that I don't like it. It's just
Right.
how I feel. It's, I'd like, more people to know about what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Thank you for sharing all that. And I'm sorry that you did go through, having sexual abuse and everything done to you. It takes a lot for you to say that out loud and, say those things. And I could see what you're saying. People probably always assume that's connected. Like you said, it probably played a part, but you always had that, disdain with people like touching you or being around that and stuff like that. And that's something I kind of skipped over a little bit ago was I think that's something too, like, especially in our generation growing up, like, we were almost made to feel bad if you didn't wanna hug or kiss your aunt or uncle or shake somebody's hand or something like that, and I'm glad it's coming more into light that not everybody's comfortable with stuff like that, and it's okay to not be comfortable with stuff like that, so, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Now
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
oh no, go.
So, you did mention a little bit about misconceptions with that. Did you ever mask? I mean, you didn't really know what was going on with you, but like when you were a preteen or teenager, did you have experiences where you were just masking and like try to date or, be sexual with people just because you didn't know what was going on with you or you're trying to hide that?
Yes, for a very long time.
Mhm.
I did mask just or for lack of a better term, lie to myself
Mhm.
because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
For a while, I was engaged. I almost got married
Mhm.
um to a woman, and was I in love with her? I think mainly I was in love with the idea of her,
Mhm.
you know, because like I said, I was doing what I thought I had to do,
Yeah.
what I was supposed to do.
Mhm.
Um, and now that I look back on it, it's just, I'm kind of glad that it didn't work out because it would have saved, it did save, both of us the pain
Mhm.
of, that relationship ending, down the road
Yeah.
because, a lot of different things could have happened
Mhm.
that, could have made it worse.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's important. I'm actually going to be releasing my own personal story next week on some things. One of it I touched on was my relationship. Like I was engaged before and stuff, and I called it off. And I think of that too. I'm so glad that I didn't put us both through that. Go ahead and get married, and then end up really truly not being happy, and getting divorced and stuff like that. So it's good that you saw that before you did fully commit. um, it takes a lot to notice that and do that for yourself because it hurts everybody involved. So I do give you a lot of credit with that, and I do completely understand that for sure. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Now you said you have like no attractions at all, but you did mention some people have like intellectual attractions and stuff like that. Do you feel anything like that, or is there anything that
Yeah,
draws you to anybody?
I can appreciate the way a person looks.
Okay.
I do consider myself, I do like men, I do like women,
Mhm.
it's just I don't like them on a sexual level.
Mhm.
Me personally, like I said, there was, people who prefer an intellectual level.
Mhm.
That's what I consider myself. I
Mhm.
would I would still like to have a relationship with someone. I would just prefer it to be on an intellectual level
Right. Yeah.
where, we don't have to worry about, those concepts of, kissing or holding hands or,
Right.
where something where, we rely on conversation,
Yeah.
you know, conversate like we're doing now.
Mhm.
A conversation can drive a person anywhere,
Yeah,
you know.
completely.
You can learn so much from a person just from like 3 words.
Mhm.
3 words can change your perspective on anybody.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's the important part that you brought up is like you still want that love and somebody to be a partner with and somebody to still have the conversations with and still do things with. You just don't need that intimacy as in a sexual, physical way. You still need the intimacy of having somebody there for you and caring for you and having someone to talk to. So I think that's something that probably people misunderstand. They think that you don't even want somebody to be in a relationship with. So I think that's really important that you shared that with us.
Yeah.
Now, when you've shared to family and friends about this, have they've had what has people's reactions been when you share this with them?
Um, well, to be honest, this is the most I've shared it
No, I feel
with our
honored.
family. Mom knows,
Mhm.
Steph knows, Will knows. Um, they're all basically, supportive of it. We don't really talk about it.
Right,
It's
yeah,
not something, discussed. It's just what it is.
right.
It's just, they have no problems with it. We just don't discuss it.
Right. Yeah. That's important. And I feel really honored that you felt comfortable coming on here to share. And that's what this platform and podcast is for. I want people to come on and share stories that they may have never felt comfortable with before. Cause I do try to do that kind of friendship conversation. Like we're just hanging out and stuff and try to not push you to say things you don't want to say and say it in your own words. So I feel really special that you are using this to share that with everybody. What made you feel comfortable opening up to me about this?
Well, you know that I love you, and I've watched almost every one of your episodes. And like I said before, I'm proud of you,
Thank you.
and I love what you're doing, and you know I and like I said too, whenever I tell somebody, what I am, there's, oh, what's that?
Hmm.
They don't even know what it is.
Right. Yeah.
And, I just, I wanted to let people know what it is.
Yeah, that's
You know,
awesome.
it's better to learn, it's
Mhm.
always good to learn,
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, and like I said, that means so much to me that you shared that with me. I love you too, and I love you for you. I've never been somebody that tries to judge people and all that. I don't really hide it, but I don't think a lot of people know, but I am bisexual myself. Like, I don't I view women and men both attractive. I've been with men and women, like, that's just who I am. I don't judge people on that, like I just think and I think it's awesome when you come into your own like that and aren't ashamed of whatever you are or how you feel, and that's so important. So I think it's beautiful that you came on here and shared that with us.
Uh,
What do you wish people understood about you without having to explain it?
um,
Maybe the no touch thing or you don't like
yeah, the
physical?
no
Yeah.
touch thing, the
Yeah.
no touch thing, because I've had, some coworkers, that are huggers,
Mhm.
and they most of them understand that, I don't like, because I tell them I don't like to be hugged,
Yeah.
but there is the few that like I go, I know you don't like it, but I'm going to do it anyways. I love you,
Yeah.
but stop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not helpful at all. That kinda goes back to what we were talking about, the older generations or even when we were kids, it's just expected of you to, like, love on your family members or even people your family friends and stuff like that, and not
Yeah,
everybody's comfortable with that, and honestly, it's a little bit creepy and weird, you know? Like, I
yeah,
know I'm not trying to judge anybody, but to me, it's strange when people, like, kiss their parents on the lips and stuff like that, especially when you're grown adults and stuff like that. That's weird for me, but some families are like that, so
yeah,
but,
yeah. No,
yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we all have our little things with that, but yeah, that would be the hardest thing because I don't think you wanna come off rude and just immediately be like, "Don't touch me," you know, but you don't want them to touch you, and as you said, that one person's like, "Well, I'm gonna do it anyways," like, that's totally overstepping your boundaries. I know they don't mean harm by that, but they totally
yeah,
don't understand that, so
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Now, there's not really any dating apps or anything out there for this, are there? So, how do you meet
No,
people
no,
or how do you even start going
see,
about with
yeah,
that?
I did want to touch on that. Yeah, because
Yeah,
that is one of the major downsides to this because, there is, no way of, saying, hey, I like you, but um there's the sex is off the table.
yeah.
Or touching's off the table.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll date you. Yeah, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Um Lately I've been talking to this person who I met online. And to be honest, I have not told him about the asexual yet. I have been putting that off, and to be completely honest, I'm really upset with myself because I'm doing that. It's just, I really enjoy talking to him,
Mhm.
and I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
afraid, he's going to say, "Oh well, that's a non-starter."
yeah. Yeah, that's scary. I could definitely see that. That would be a scary part, like, when and how do you tell somebody that? Especially you don't wanna lose their friendship or that connection that you have, so, hopefully, maybe this will give you the strength here you can share with him, like, "Hey, watch this. I want you to see this part of my life," or something, so that would be maybe a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. Like I said, what do you say to somebody that is figuring this out now about themselves or is questioning how they feel?
I'll say what, I hope somebody had said to me when I was first figuring it out, you belong,
Mhm.
you know, there is a place for you.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely, and that's my biggest mission and message with this is you're not alone. You know, everybody has a story and a journey, and we all somebody out there is listening and understands you completely and is thinking, "Oh, that's me. I can finally feel comfortable," you know, or like you said, everybody has there's somebody out there that understands everything. And sometimes I look down on like technology and stuff like that. Like I wish we didn't have it at our hand at 24/7 because I do miss that, you know. But also it's helped people like us find our place in life, find the right people that understand us. You can talk to people all over the world about things and they understand you, you know, you're not just set to your little area to where you live and stuff like that because I know where you know where I come from and where you live now and everything, even where you grew up is small rural type areas where not everybody
Yeah.
understands that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think that would be that's harder too. And if we didn't have technology, I think it would make it a lot harder. I just want you to know, like, don't beat yourself up about not telling that person yet. You'll do it when you're comfortable. But, you know, of course, give yourself a chance and let them understand you. Of course, that's scary to do as well. But, you know,
I
like I said,
know
maybe
it's
use this
that
or
pull
even a
out on
clip or
it.
something. Yeah. But that was all the questions I had about it. Was there any other specific areas that you wanted to touch on or anything else you wanted to share about it?
No, I think we got everything. Well, not everything. Like I said, it is a
There's a lot.
huge topic.
Yeah.
It is a huge topic.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we could talk for days or whatever you wanna talk
But
about.
yeah, no, if anybody who watches this, yeah, definitely, if you're interested, look it up. There is
Yeah.
a lot to read about on this topic. It is a vast topic.
Besides the show that kinda turned you on to it, is there any specific resources or locations you should suggest people look into? Just Google or
Um,
use AI
yeah,
or something?
Google. Yeah, that's how I learned was
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. Now, going back to kind of talking about how there's no dating app specifically or anything like that. Is that something that you would ever be interested in, trying to get something up on your end, or just coming out like, "Hey, this is a platform for people," or even something local that you can set up?
that would be awesome to do. I would love to do that. Would be
Yeah.
to set up a platform for, ACE members. Well, not just ACE members, but for any LGBTQ member.
Mhm. Yeah,
That would,
absolutely.
yeah, that would just be just a dream, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's something that you can work on, just a side project even, and you never know what could come out of it. Like, that's one thing learning and doing this podcast is I'm trying to push the people I love around me a little bit more to do the things they're passionate about because doing this has really changed me a lot. It's really brought out a lot in me and healed me in a lot of ways I didn't expect. And of course, it's scary. And I haven't had a lot of confidence. And I can finally say that, though. I'm proud of myself and stuff now and feel confident. But at first, even my brothers always picked on me and stuff like that, so I was always nervous how people would feel or treat
Oh,
me doing
we
it.
weren't very nice to him either.
No, I know. I always think about that. I was a bitch. I was a mean sister, so he's one of my best friends now, though, so I'm thankful for our relationship that we have as adults, so
Yeah, you gotta love Andy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Gotta love ants for sure. Since we kind of are done talking about that, let's have some fun. I always like to do the rapid fire questions, like favorite things or this and that, just to kind of lighten up the mood and talk about some more things. Of
All right.
course, I would love to have you come back in the future. Anything you ever want to talk about, serious. We could do fun episodes. Like I said, I'd really love to put a cousin episode together. So if any of my cousins are listening out there, that would be fun. We could do a family fun episode. I do concert recaps. But I know big thing with your family and we shares like movies and stuff. We could always do something like that too. So
Yeah. Well,
awesome. Okay. Well, let's see. Favorite childhood snack?
mm, oh, um, pretzels.
Pretzels? Just plain pretzels? Do you like to dip them in anything or
No, just plain pretzels.
plain pretzels? I like that. Who is the most chaotic of the three M's?
Uh,
Uh,
Mo.
Mo. Yeah, I'd say so. She's lived a little bit more crazier life than all of us. For sure. Movie you can quote word for word. I know there's a lot, but one of them.
Uh, ooh. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of them. Uh, Ace Ventura.
Oh, nice. We just watched that a couple weeks ago. It was on. Me and Kyle were dying watching that on TV again, so I love it. What is your favorite comfort food?
Mac and cheese.
Oh, me too. I love it. That's funny. Of course it is. Got the M's in there. So me and Matthew are
Yeah,
closest too. We're closer than Melissa. Me and you were only like a week or two apart. So
yeah.
yeah, not even what, 4 days? No, 8 days.
Days.
8 days. That's right. So yeah, yeah. Favorite season?
Winter.
Winter. You like winter? I like winter. A lot of people hate on winter, but I love winter. I like the
Mhm.
cool, crisp air and the beauty of it
Mhm.
and everything.
Oh,
So
I know. Winter is probably the most romantic of the all the seasons.
it is for sure. There is
Yeah.
something really romantic about winter. I love it. I like to take walks in winter and everything. So sweet or salty?
Salty.
Salty. Do you have a favorite salty snack?
Pretzels.
Oh, pretzels. Going back to pretzels.
Mhm.
Favorite musician or artist or band?
Ooh, Elvis.
Elvis. Nice. Yep. I should have known that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. If you had to relive one childhood memory, what would it be?
Uh, one childhood memory. Oh, when Jimmy taught me how to read and write.
Oh, I love that. Yes. I miss him so much. And I'm
Yeah.
so glad that, we can all stay connected and talk and stuff. But yeah, for sure. I miss him all the time. Let's see here. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. Does plain coffee or do you like it with
Oh,
anything?
no, no, no. 5 and 5 on that. Five
Five
cream,
and
five
five.
sugar.
Sounds like Kyle. He can put a mound of sugar in his coffee. I am. I can do black coffee, but not often, and it has
Oh
to
no,
be
I
like
can't
an
do black
expensive
coffee.
coffee. But I like creamers. I don't put sugar, but I'll use a creamer, but I try to use like a non-dairy creamer, like an oat milk creamer. So,
Yeah. In fact, actually, I'm in trouble. They're building a Dunkin' in my store.
oh no. I love Dunkin'. I'm back in New London now, so we only have like a local coffee shop, a McDonald's, and like the gas stations. That's all we have. So I can't do
Well,
Dunkin'.
McDonald's would be the best then.
Yeah. Dunkin', when I lived in Norwalk, though, I used to get Dunkin' delivered working from home all the time. So Dunkin' is definitely a weakness of mine.
Yeah.
Pizza topping you'll defend forever.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Ooh, that's a good one. A lot of people have a disdain for pineapple on pizza.
Oh yeah, no, no. My favorite topping: pineapple, bacon, and onion.
That's like a perfect combination. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing beats that. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah. What about Joe's Pizza? Is that where you would want to get
Yeah,
pizza?
Joe's. That on a Joe's.
Yeah.
You get a Joe's pizza with pineapple, bacon, and onions.
Yeah, me and Kyle were just talking yesterday. His boss was talking about a deep dish is his favorite. I'm like, I know that's, with Chicago and Illinois. I'm like, but in our family, tavern style, like Joe's Pizza and stuff like that is
Yeah.
the best.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Tavern style, thin crust. It's the
yeah,
way to go.
absolutely. Something small that makes you happy.
Something small that makes me happy. My dog, Rocky.
Oh, nice. Is that the only animal that you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky. Oh, that's cute.
Even though he can be annoying, but he still makes me happy.
Yeah, I have my two fur babies, my girls, my Jade and Chloe, my cats, and I couldn't make it through life without them. Those special little fur babies actually mean a lot to us and our therapy in
Yeah.
themselves. So, well, Matthew, this has been great. Thank you so much for
Yes.
joining me today.
Well,
Of
thank you
course,
for
I
having
would
me.
love to have you come back. And once again, I'm really honored that you chose my platform to share this with everybody. I hope that I've done it in a respectful way for you and I can help you be a little bit more comfortable with yourself getting this out there. So,
Thank you for having me.
of
It was a
course. Thank
pleasure
you.
to be on.
Yes. I learned a lot, and I know there's going to be a lot of people listening who either learned something new or finally felt understood, and that matters. If you're listening and you're figuring things out or just trying to better yourself, you're not alone, and it's okay to take time with it. That's what this space is about: real conversations, real people, and no judgment. If this episode meant something to you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And as always, keep showing up as you are because that's always enough. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode of Auntie Mel Life Unfiltered. Thank you for spending this time with me and stepping into the real, the raw, the messy, and the magical, because we don't do surface level here. If this episode hit home, made you laugh, or helped you feel a little less alone, go ahead and follow the podcast and share it with someone who might need it too. And remember, you are never too much, never too little, and never alone on this wild ride. I'll meet you back here next time for more truth, more feels, and more unfiltered goodness. This is Auntie Mel signing off. Stay real, stay kind, and stay unfiltered. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Auntie Mel. If this episode made you laugh, think, or feel a little less alone, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Sharing it really helps this community grow. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and right here on YouTube. I'll see you in the next episode of Life Unfiltered.